When they came in and you said that they were looking at you just sort of for a little bit of direction and comfort.
What would you like me to do? What would you like me to do was on both of their faces.
It really was.
What do I need to do? Because Peg is the working dog, the very, very bright working dog.
She is, yeah. So I got her from a man who sadly passed away in his early 50s and took her on as a mature working dog, fully trained and trialling, so very good standard. And she took to me very well. I sort of had to learn her commands, and now she works very hard on the farm. For me, but also for the rest of the team. So if I'm away filming for Countryfile, she stays at home and they look after her and work her pretty much every day.
So that you couldn't do your job without her?
No, they're irreplaceable, the Border Collie. Absolutely amazing, that natural instinct to round up sheep and cattle. And the skill of a good sheepdog trialling person or person who works with sheepdogs very well is extraordinary, how they can hone that incredible instinct to round up. And they're basically an ancient wolf, or a modern-day wolf, really, but you've just taken out that killing instinct and they want to round up the animals for you.
And then we've got Boo, and Boo's a bit more loyal to your son Alfie, isn't he? He's Alfie's dog. Alfie got him for his birthday, and you describe him as a lovable buffoon.
Well, yeah, she is really. She's very, very beautiful, actually, and she is clever and very easy to train, and Alfie loves her and takes her out a lot, and she is gorgeous. She perhaps looks a bit like a buffoon, but actually she's very, very bright.
As you found out when you did an IQ test on both of them, and obviously Peg came out very, very high, and she did very well, but Boo surprised you.
She did, yeah. So there's all sorts of tests that they've done in the labs, but also we had them out on farm doing tests when we were working with Countryfile, and Boo excelled herself, actually. I thought she was a little bit less bright than she actually was.
Oh, she's looking at us now.
You've had dogs in your family since you were a small boy. So what does a dog bring to a family?
A huge amount, I believe. I'd never want to be without a dog. And growing up with them, we're in a fortunate situation living on a farm with a big house and lots of areas to exercise dogs. That they're your companion, they're your friend, they're loyal to you. It doesn't matter whether you're in a good mood or a bad mood, and whether you're sad or happy, they're there for you and are a great comfort. And they say that, you know, they're a great relaxant, they're very calming for people if you've got them in the house. And I adore having them around. And
this is your book here, and you've many books that you've written, and this is the new one, and this is Farmer and His Dog, and it's full of these stories, but not just sort of working dogs like your dogs, but also like assistance dogs that have helped people. And I mean, this is something that we know on the programme. We've been following our Puppy with Purposes and the extraordinary work that they do also.
It is incredible. Assistance dogs and care dogs, the way they can help people with various disabilities, whether it's their vision or their hearing, people who have suffered from trauma. And I've met all sorts...
Specifically a man called Alan Parton, who you
That's right. So Alan, it's just extraordinary. Gentleman I met who had suffered in the Gulf War and had a terrible traumatic injury, couldn't read, write or speak. After his injury, had no memory of his wife or his 2 children, and was suicidal, and eventually had a dog as a companion. And this dog brought him out of himself over the years, and he learnt how to speak again. He remarried his wife because he couldn't remember his first wedding.
Oh, my gosh.
And even when the dog died and passed away, it was in his lap, and as it died, he then started to cry, and it brought out his final emotion that he hadn't been able to reach. That was to be able to cry and grieve. So
That's
amazing what they can bring to you.
But it's a lovely book.
It really is,
story.
and they are beautiful. Thank you for bringing them in to meet us today. Thank you, Boo. Thank you, Peg.
Crazy well behaved. It's just extraordinary.
So gorgeous, aren't they?